of compliance with the proposed contract. So I did mention, you just need to go through the contract provided to your legal team or whoever you need to and tell us what amendments you'd like to request to be changed upon submission. And there is a entry field within the electronic system for you to detail that specifically. If you don't have anything that you don't want to change, then you just, NA. That's more than fine. Okay, so this is the criteria itself, straight from the funding guidelines. So criteria A is around identifying what the actual problem is that you're seeking to solve. So, really think about what's the purpose of drinking for this group, what's the context, what encourages or discourages risky drinking amongst this group. Then we want you to describe the people who actually engage in this drinking culture. So tell us a bit more about demographics. So they're very top line, obviously, but also any insights you have around psychographics. So we know that cultural change is very linked to values. So any information that you do have, let us know, or understandings. Some of this stuff, or some of this information is within the brief insight reports for those 3 identified cultures. And then the last part there is about what insights you will target, and I think I've covered off on this pretty well previously. Just that Category 1 applicants use the insights to tell us what you're going to target. Category 2, you just need to identify and tell us what they are for your chosen groups. So your solution, we need to know what you're going to deliver, obviously, and what makes this project unique. How will you engage with your target group? How will you keep them in the loop and understand their values and opinions and attitudes and beliefs towards alcohol to continually feed back into the project? I'd suggest that you outline your solution by clear deliverables so that we have a thorough understanding of exactly what it will be. Use headings, bullet points, whatnot. Make it clear to us what will be delivered. Keep in mind that it is an assessment panel that will be reviewing these submissions, and there'll be a lot of submissions, so do your best to make it as clear as you can. You also need to tell us how many people you'll reach and through what setting or channel. So this might be a physical setting or it could be a digital channel as well. And just the high level schedule of activities of when the deliverables will be actually implemented in practice. So C and D are partners and subcontractors and organisational commitment. We'd like to know who your project team is and what expertise you have, and whether or not your partnerships are new or existing, whether they're people that you're planning on contacting or they're people you've already had conversations with. That just gives us a good understanding of whether your project's ready to roll or whether there'll be a couple of months of establishing those relationships before we hit the ground running. You can include letters of support. There's an upload option for any partner to express in writing their support for your pitch. And we're really keen on knowing whether or not you have a sufficient team to take this project from an idea to an actual project that's delivered out there. You can subcontract funds, and there's no issues in doing that. You just need to let us know what your intentions are around that. So one of the other things as well is just to consider whether or not there might even be anyone in this room today who you could partner with. So going through the list of RSVPs, I understand that we've got some creative agencies, we've got some people from the arts sector here, there's health organisations, there's some universities and even some local councils. So I'd really encourage you to have some conversations with other people that are even in this room today, because it might present an opportunity to match up skills that you'd be able to deliver a more comprehensive proposal to us together for a project. So I'd encourage that. Now the last one, or the last two, is the evaluation and the budget. So you need to tell us as well how you'll actually evaluate your project on the ground. So we're interested in knowing what the process, impact and outcome measures will be relative to your proposed solution. So keeping in mind that this is project-specific evaluation, we will have La Trobe University on board who'll be developing indicators to measure change across the whole initiative. But we really need to know how you're going to evaluate your actions. Each project's going to have a different set of actions that they'll be delivering, so how will you measure change? La Trobe will also be available to support this moving forward, noting that a lot of organisations won't be experts in health promotion evaluation, so we'll provide some support there as well in shaping this. Now, the budget is, as mentioned, it's a pool of 1.06, so we really need a clear budget and itemise it by deliverable. We haven't provided a template for this, you can upload your own. So as mentioned before, if you give us a base budget and then additional add-ons that we see what the money is being allocated to, that'll assist us in our assessment. And this is actually intended to be a very flexible funding model, so that we can provide different amounts of money to different projects or ideas. You will notice in the funding guidelines that there is a statement around co-investment. So this isn't a requirement exactly, so you won't be judged or assessed on this per se, but it'll be looked upon favourably if you do have any type of co-investment, because it shows to us that you're actually passionate about this as a complex social issue and you're willing to put either in-kind or cash contributions towards the cause as well. So this is the assessment criteria and weighting in summary. So this isn't published anywhere. This is being provided today for your information. What will happen is proposals will be checked for compliance, and then those project proposals that do comply will go to the assessment panel and they'll individually score your submissions against this assessment criteria, and then make decisions for recommendations to our CEO to approve following that process. You'll see that a lot of the weighting is applied to your solution and time frame. So again, just emphasising, be very clear about what you're actually proposing will be delivered.
Just a question just on that
Yep.
timeline then, because you mentioned before, so in terms of taking it from idea to action,
Yep.
so we can start to intervene.
Mm-hmm.
What is the expectation there, just in terms of those dates? Is it 1st of June that it's actually up and running and working?
Yep, so just repeating the question, it was around how ready to roll should projects be. Are we expecting them to be delivered from the 1st of June? Depending on what you're proposing, there might be a little bit of downtime in the beginning of the project, and that's okay. We understand that organisations will be at different places, and it may be a new subpopulation or a new concept that you're working on. So, a bit of conceptual development in the beginning is okay, but obviously we'd like interventions to be delivered. Obviously we have 24 months, so yeah, it'd be great to have interventions more than started. We don't really have a date, do we, Emma? No. Just as, yeah, some conceptual development's okay, no firm date. Is that okay?
Well, yeah, it's just that it was 40%. So with that 40% of the evaluation, if you're saying that we can be running on the 1st of June, and would that be seen favourably versus I'm going to need 6 months?
It's all relative. So it depends on what deliverable or what activity it is that you'll be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, I think applications that can demonstrate that they already have a really good insight into their population group or their setting, and that they have quite a well-conceived idea that can roll out reasonably soon, may have an advantage over other projects that may need 6 months of further research or scoping. But that's not a hard and fast rule, that's just top of my head. So yeah, the further developed your proposal is, but we do know that in this space of innovation there does need to be an iterative process. The main thing we'll be looking at is, realistically, can this proposal be delivered within our 24-month time frame and evaluated?
Just a question on your word limits there, and I noted, are they hard and fast? There didn't seem to be a spot to include our own organisational history and activity in a particular area, which I guess might be a predictor of capacity to deliver on what we're suggesting.
Yeah, so the question was around word limits and whether or not they're hard and fast. They are word limited in the system, so you won't be able to enter more words. But if you are submitting your organisational support letters, that would be a good place for you to put in some experience or some noting around what your experience is as an organisation. If you have that signed off by one of your execs or upper management, then that would more than be suitable.
Sure.
So this is just a summary of the key dates, leading into or for this funding round. So we're open or in market until the 1st of May to be submitted online. Then we'll be doing a very rapid and fast assessment process and hoping to have these projects commencing by the end of May and hitting the ground. So projects will conclude in May of 2019, so that is 24 months in its entirety. Okay, so now we've got more time for questions.